Hey, this is Willie with the UV Laser channel. So let's do some bone today. I've got a skull here that I'm practicing on. I've got a good one coming in, and I wanted to check and see, try to get the settings kind of dialed in a little bit better. And I've already started running it a little bit, um, and realized that my statement this laser not engraving is not completely accurate. It's actually engraving into the bone um, quite well on the first pass, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, this is a wow. That is really a nice deep engraving into it, but it's not putting any color into the engraving. So I'm going to adjust my settings here. Um, I will let you guys catch a view of that. Let me add you into my layer here. Um, so move this out of the way here. Let's go over to our cuts and layers. I actually got this set right now at a 40 frequency. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on up to a 60, and I'm going to speed this up to 2500. Um, I'm looking for a dark mark is what I'm trying to find here. So let's bring this to a 3. That's part of the problem there. And somehow another bi-directional is taken off. And I don't need wobble. I don't know why that's on there. Oh, I do too know why. That was what the deal was. I had this set up whenever I was doing a cut with my fiber laser. All right, now let's see what we get out of this. trashy. I am really glad I had a old bone skull to try this out on before I tried it on the good one that's coming in. Um, go the other direction on the frequency. And I could have ran a test pattern on this thing, and that may wind up being what I have to do, but I just wanted to just right off the bat run something on it and not completely ruin the skull. Oh, so one is the highest power. So let's see what we get out of that. But yeah, you put that wobble on here and it will do some engraving, that's for sure. That was interesting. All right, so let's slow it way down. Let's take it down to 800. Well, that's not doing it either. Hmm. It's engraving, but it's not bringing any marks. Yeah. This is interesting. I guess because it runs so cold, it will ablate the material, but it's not actually going to mark it. I'm going to slow it way down, bring the frequency up to 100. All right, now we're getting her whooped. So it will engrave bone. Um, it engraves really well. You can get a really nice deep engraving into the bone itself, and then run a secondary pass. And what you'll need to do is bring your lines per inch up into 1,000. So do your engraving at somewhere in the 800 lines per LPI, and then run the next pass at a high LPI, 1,000 or something like that, and slow it down. So what we're doing, and it's something that I had kind of not thought about in my mind, was that a UV laser is a fairly cool running laser, and the bone takes some heat to mark. So you have to slow that beam down so that it is putting that heat into that spot to mark it. So that's what was happening. Um, but that being said, I know from using a CO2 laser that it will mark bone really well, and to a point it will engrave it, but you begin to get charring on it. You'd have to run a lot of passes. This one here, just that single pass that started on there, Um, I could literally catch my fingernail in the engraving. Um, so it really did put a good dent just on one pass. So you can really make something come out of that. I would imagine for bone handled knives and other like items, you would probably need to do some of the same thing. That is to say, you'll need to bring your speed down and bring your LPI up. Just keep in mind that a lot of the handles that you'd see on a knife, also called knife scales, would probably be stabilized with some form of epoxy or another. And so the marking on it's probably going to change. And that's one thing you have to kind of watch out for. Unlike CO2, there's very little smoke. I mean, there is a little bit, but not near the amount that you would see coming off of the CO2. I recognize that we're already up into the 20-minute range, um, but this is one of these items that, for anyone seriously considering it, they want to know how long it's going to take on the machine. And so me editing or cutting out and all of that stuff, that doesn't give you a true representation of what you're doing. I will take this opportunity to thank one of our sponsors, Hoshian Laser and Pascal Liao. I also want to thank a couple of the viewers who have already sent some donations in and requests for different materials to try out. Folks, make sure to, when you view my videos, to hit that like button and hit the subscribe. Really do me a solid and hit those like buttons. That helps get my page up into the rank where people is going to see it. And if you're looking into getting into the UV laser and everything, then you know that there's not a lot of resources out there talking about the UV laser. And if you are thinking about getting a UV laser, then I would definitely get a hold of Pascal. You can use my link in the About Me page, and all of the relevant links are in there, even to be able to send requests for a material that you might want me to give a try on the laser. So while this is running here, I'll actually show you if you look right over here, right in this header right here, just click on here, and you'll see the links down here below. You can select request material, and it'll bring you to a little page on my website where you can put your information in and request a particular material you want me to engrave, or even just, holler at me, tell me what you think, give any advice. I welcome it. And then we have a donate page over here and a chat with Pascal. And if you are, as I said, looking to get in to a CO2 or a fiber or a UV laser, then you can definitely give them a holler. Just click on the message button over here with Pascal. Let him know that you heard about him from me, and he's going to get you a really good discount and get you taken care of. Now, we will be doing another bone this week. This was not the planned on activity that I was going to do, but it really surprised me whenever I started doing this test piece, how it came out. So I just went ahead and did a spur on the moment video on this test piece. And, this kind of shows the importance of anytime you're trying out something new, make sure that you have a backup. Um, you really don't want to get a customer's product and be testing out on it. That can get you in a pretty big bind. And when it comes to the skulls that have already been processed, they can be quite expensive. The one that's being sent to me is has a dollar value of somewhere around $200. So you don't want to mess it up, and that doesn't account for this is a trophy for a guy that and stuff. So you want to make sure you get it right the first time when you hit it. I really want you guys to stick with me on this one here if you can, because I don't want to risk moving it and messing up the image that's being done. But um, I do want you to see just how deep it engraved into the bone um, with that wobble setting on. Now, obviously, for those of you who don't know what wobble is, um, essentially what it's doing is it's making the beam go in little bitty tight circles. So you are going to knock out a lot of material and centralize that process right there on top of the point. But it's also going to open up your dot size. So it's not going to be good for anything that you're doing that has a high resolution. But any type of low resolution image like this here, you could you can get away with doing that and make a nice deep engraving into an item. We're getting there, folks. It's not going to be too much longer. So if this skull was actually cleaned up before I did this process, this is a what you'd call a raw skull that has not had any kind of cleaning or processing done on it to remove fat or anything like that out of the bone. But if it was real good and white, this this image would be freaking incredible. Born and raised here in Texas, skulls hanging on the porch and houses and bull horns and all of that. Kind of a common theme for around me. But my wife, she's born up in Chicago, so she won't let me put any of these on the wall. By the way, for those of you that, excuse me, I'm sorry about the coughing in the microphone. for those of you that have had this happen to you before, um, if you'll notice right over here in this progress bar, if you stop or if you close this window before this progress bar has reached the 100%, then what you're going to do is stop the process. So you don't want to do that. Um, but now that it's been, I'm sorry, um, now that it has went to that 100%, you can close this window. So let's, while that's finishing up, darn it, I forgot that I wasn't sharing two cameras. I'm sorry. Here, let's move this over there. All right, so you see this progress bar right here? When you send a job to the laser, if you watch, you'll notice that it's starting to run through. If you close the laser window uh, after you hit and hit the start button, if you close that before that reaches the 100%, then it will interrupt the work a lot of times. So you don't want to do that. But once it's finished 100%, then you can close that laser window a lot of times. So if we look at our cuts and layers, this is what we got. So our speed for a bone for a black mark is 100. Our frequency is 100. Our Q pulse is 1. Our LPI is 1000. And that will get you a black mark on raw bone. Again, uh, keep in mind that when you are running bone, that if it's on a scale for a knife or something like that, it could be stabilized. What they do is they put it in a vacuum machine with some resin and pulls that resin into the bone, or it could just have a clear coat or something like that over the top of it, and that's going to affect the way it marks. So it's just now got finished, and I do want you guys to visually see the difference here. So I'm gonna get that out of the way, and I mean this is a really nice thick. Try to see if I can get you a side profile of really nice thick engraving. I mean, you can definitely catch your fingernail in it. So not only will a UV laser mark bone, it is one of the few items that a UV laser will actually engrave and do so very nicely, very crisp, with no charring in your lines or anything like that, which I love about a UV laser. Um, if you were to take and probably did a cross hatch here, it would probably darken this up and close the lines up that much more. And then obviously once you go over this with a clear coat, then it would do so even more. So don't have so you can kind of see how, if you put a clear coat or something like that on there, it would really darken that up. So UV Laser Channel is going to be signing off. I appreciate you folks joining me today. And this week we will have a trophy skull that we're going to do for a dog competition coming up. And I'll make sure to stream it in. Have a great day.